God bless students. Dear students, in today's lesson we shall learn from unit number 5, and it's a poem named Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth, and we shall learn the first two stanzas of this poem, and this poem is from the Book of English for class 9. First of all, we shall look at the main theme of the poem. The main theme of the poem Daffodils revolves around a tribute to nature and its manifestations in all its glory. We all know there are a number of poets from the West who have paid homage and tribute to the beauty of nature, and the same thing is done by the poet of Daffodils, William Wordsworth here. In this poem, he beautifully presents us in this poem not only the attractive and exciting beauty of nature, but also the purifying and enduring impact of it on human beings. So the beauty of the nature has very purifying impact on the lives of the human beings. Now we shall move on to the introduction of the poet. The poet of this poem, Daffodils, is a very romantic English poet. His name is William Wordsworth. He was born at Cockermouth in Cumberland, which is a very small market town in the northwest part of England, and this area is located on the edge of the Lake District. The poet gives an imaginative awareness of the experience and the specific emotional response through his poetry. Dear students, now we shall look at the first stanza from the poem Daffodils, and its lines are: I wandered, lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Dear students, before doing the paraphrasing, a student has to give the reference and the context of the stanza. So, the reference of this stanza says, these lines have been taken from the poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. And the context: this poem provides us the description of the beauty of nature and happiness. The charming and pleasant experience of the poet at the sight of daffodils is presented in these lines. Now we shall move on to the paraphrasing. The first stanza of the poem Daffodils: I wandered lonely as a cloud. We shall paraphrase these lines, and the next line says, that floats on high over vales and hills. The poet says that he himself floats over hills and valleys like a lonely cloud, and then suddenly he sees the crowd of golden daffodils. In the further lines, the poet says, and it's paraphrased like this: the flowers of daffodils are under the trees which are grown beside the beautiful lake. He sees them that they are dancing and fluttering in the gentle morning breeze. Dear students, now we shall move on to the stanza number 2, and the lines of stanza number 2 are: continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Before doing the paraphrasing, we know we have to do the reference and the context. And the reference and the context, students can remember this. They can use these lines if the stanza is taken from the same poem Daffodils. The students will write, or students will say or explain these lines have been taken from the poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. And for the context, the students can use the same lines, that in which context the writer has presented these stanzas, and you can use the same reference and context for the stanzas of this poem. Now we shall move on to the paraphrasing of stanza number 2. And this stanza, the poet says that daffodils shine like twinkling stars continuously. They have spread in a line which looks unending along the back of the bay. And at the first glance, poet sees 10,000 daffodils which were waving and tossing their heads in a very lively dance, or you can say active dance. Dear students, here is one assignment for you all, and your assignment for today is divided into two parts, part A and part B. And from part A you have two questions. What you will understand from the stanzas, you will give the answers of those understandings in the form of the words. And your first question is, how do you compare the daffodils with the stars? And number 2, how does the poet feel in the company of daffodils? And the part B of your assignment is paraphrase the following stanza with reference to the context. And here the lines of your stanzas are: I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Dear students, please attempt these questions and send me your responses. I shall be waiting for your answers. Thank you, and God bless you.